Hello everybody, this is Jeff Janess and welcome to our first lab exercise on creating and editing data. In this lab exercise we're going to see how to create a polyline feature class that happens to be the roads up on Mount Elden. We're also going to see how to add attribute data to it. We're going to see how to use several of the editor tools including snapping and editing vertices. Before we get started, I'm just going to let you know I'm going to be using some imagery in here. You can use whatever image source you like, but I want to try this NAIP imagery, the National Agriculture Imagery Program. We saw how to connect to that server in Lecture 2 on data types. Okay, so I'm going to connect to the Arizona version of NAIP. This is the link to it right here, so I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to come over here to servers, do add ArcGIS server connection, paste that in there, connect up. Okay, here it is right here. Go into it. The NAIP imagery is in this imagery subfolder. I'm going to use the NAIP from 2019. Okay, next thing I want to mention before we really jump into the lab. There's quite often times that we are creating features. We're drawing a long road or creating a big polygon, and we need to adjust the map because we just need to pan it so we can get the rest of the feature in. But we don't want to stop editing or creating our polyline or polygon. When this happens, we can pan and zoom around in the map with the editor still going. We just use these little keyboard shortcuts. There's several ways to pan, several ways to zoom in, several ways to zoom out. So look this over and get a feel for them because you'll be wanting to use these as you create features. Also, I'm oftentimes going back to a previous extent, then going forward to the subsequent extent. And you can get to those functions. There are these left and right arrows here. You can get them in the Map tab. They're right here. This lets you zoom back and forth. But I use these so often when I'm editing that I actually added them to my quick access toolbar. So you might consider doing that. All right. Then let's go ahead and get started. First, we're going to load up this polygon feature class Elden area of interest. This just kind of centers us on where we want to be. We're going to add this trails and roads, dry lake hills, because that shows you some of the other roads and trails in the area. So let's just add our data here. Okay, it's in the class GIS data, selecting and creating data. And Elden area of interest number 1, that's here. Let's zoom into that extent. Now let's add the trails and roads of Dry Lake Hills. That's in the Dry Lake Hills folder. Here it is. Okay, so it's in brown here. I'm just going to make that a little bit lighter. We'll do this. Yeah, now we can see it. So those are the roads that are already there. And for those of you in the Flagstaff area, this is actually Mount Elden. If you in Flagstaff anywhere and you look to the north, you see Mount Elden looming over us. Right here are the fire towers. You'll see all the radio towers up on Mount Elden. They're right over here. Now, there's a road that goes up Mount Elden that comes right up in here. A little hard to see in the trees, but this is it. And this will take you right to the top. A dirt road. It's not a bad road, and it's worth exploring for those of you who would like to try it. This line here is an actual trail. It's a bike trail and a hiking trail that goes up. Now, sometimes it's a good idea to actually have multiple background data sources in here. And as I look at this, I notice that in some places, especially right in here, it's a little hard to tell where the road goes. And this happens. You know, this imagery comes from different dates, and sometimes the shadows are just oriented differently. And so if you'd like to have additional sources of imagery in there, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm just going to throw in the Esri imagery as well. I have that in the servers. This is one we connected to in Lecture 2. All right. So in this case, I can go back and forth. I can turn off the NAIP imagery and see the Esri imagery below, and some of that's a little easier to see. All right. So now I have two sources I can work with. And I'm just going to be digitizing off this image as I create it. Now, a basic strategy for creating new feature classes is first you create a new empty feature class. Then you add that feature class to your map. You set that feature class to be the only editable and selectable layer. And this isn't necessary to do the project, but it does avoid confusion and problems later on. You're editing data, and you don't want to accidentally edit the wrong data. So you don't want to create a feature, create a new road, and have it go into the wrong feature class. And you don't want to delete something from the wrong feature class. So you can actually tell ArcGIS Pro that you only want to consider your new feature class as the one you're editable and selectable. And so we're going to do that. Then we open up the Create Features pane. We select a template. You'll see that in a second. We select the editing tool we want to use to create the sketch with, and the sketch is the geometry as we create it. We draw the sketch, save your edits, and at the end you add attribute values if that's something you need to do, and you will in this lab exercise. Okay, so let's get going on it. We've zoomed to the, let's zoom to the extent of here again. All right, let's set our data frame coordinate system to NAD83 UTM zone 12. That's in the map properties coordinate system. Here it is. All right. Zoom back to the extent. So we're going to create a new polyline feature class that maps the main roads, and that's these that you see through here. Comes up to the top here, then comes over here to the fire tower, and a second road comes over here to the radio towers. So first thing we have to do is create a new feature class, and actually to do that we need to create a new file geodatabase. You're going to be turning this in, so make sure you create a new file geodatabase and name it Editor Lab as it's shown here. So let's do that. Let's go to our catalog view. Make sure you know where you're putting it. I'm going to put it in this folder here. I'm going to create a new file geodatabase. Name it Editor Lab. Then inside of that, I'm going to create a new feature class. Okay, here we go. I'm going to name it Elden Roads. It is going to be a line feature class. Make sure you do this. A lot of people accidentally go with the polygon and nothing seems to work right. Let's not add Z values to this. Okay, next down here. Here we add an attribute field because we're going to add a name attribute field. So we can name the roads. We call it Road ID. It is a text field. And it doesn't need to be 255 characters. It only needs to be 10. That'll be more than enough. All right. Hit Next. And now we pick the coordinate system of our new feature class. We're going to make it NAD83 UTM zone 12. To get to it quickly, you can just search for 26912. There we go, UTM zone 12. Okay, now that's all we need to do to create our feature class. If you are curious about, there's a few more options you have when you're creating a feature class. You know, we're at page 3 of 6. You could hit and set an XY tolerance. You could set resolution, and you can set keywords, and this is just for advanced geodatabases. We're not going to set any of those. We just hit Finish. Okay, and now we have a brand new feature class. It has been added to our map. I'm going to change the symbology so it's a little bit easier to see against a darker background. How about we make it, I'm going to call it a major road. All right, we'll go with that. It's been set. Cool. All right, so there's nothing drawn yet because there's nothing in there. That comes next. Okay, now we're going to be using the Edit toolbar. That's right here. Hit the Edit tab. Here's all the tools you have available to you, and we're going to explore some of these. But the thing is, the edit toolbar depends a lot on selecting features, and so we don't want to accidentally select features from the trails and roads or the Elden area of interest and maybe accidentally delete those or edit them. So we're going to set those to be not selectable, and we can just uncheck everything that we don't want to be selectable. It just leaves Elden roads. Another way you could do it is right-click on the layer, and at the top of the drop-down list, you see something that says, make this the only selectable layer. So you hit OK. All right. Now, we want this to also be the only editable layer. That's this option here. So we click the list by editing. These have red exclamation marks, meaning that you couldn't edit them even if you wanted to. But we want this to be the only one. I'm going to right-click, make this the only editable layer. Okay, easy enough. Okay, now to get ready to start editing, we need to open up our Create Features pane. So we click this little Create right here. This gives us a list of the templates that we can use. The templates are just a way of helping us to create new features. There's a lot of things you can do with a template. We're just going to go with a very simple example here. We'll get into a little bit more advanced stuff in a later exercise. But we would just click on the Elden Roads layer here. Then brings us some tools that we can use to create our road features down at the bottom. And here are options on how to set up those tools. Like we could set this one up to make true curves. We could use this one to make every line be a 90-degree angle. But this is just the standard one. It draws basic lines. It'll work just fine. Now we also need to set up our snapping environment so that if we want our line to perfectly connect with other lines or other objects, the term for that is snapping to it. So we have to open up the little snapping options, and you can get it right here. Just click that little down arrow. We're going to set these first 4, but you're welcome to play with these however you like. And there's no points lost if you use a different arrangement than I'm using. But I'm wanting it to snap to any points in the map. I'm wanting it to snap to the endpoints of polylines and polygons. I'm wanting it to snap to vertices in polylines and polygons. And I'm wanting it to snap to the edge. And edges, for example, look at this purple outline here. There's only 4 vertices in here at each corner. I could snap to a vertex and see where it says vertex, or I could snap to the edge, and I can snap at any point on that. If I had turned off, say, the edge snapping, I uncheck that. Now when I go back, it won't snap to that anymore. It'll only go to the vertices. All right, but I definitely want it to snap to edges, so I'm turning that on. Okay, so I'm going to zoom into the map and see where my road starts. So I'm just rolling my mouse wheel forward. I'm clicking the mouse wheel to drag it. I want to start my road feature right where the road touches the purple line. It's a little hard to see here. I'm going to see if I can see the road better here. All right, I think I'll start with this image. All right, I've got my drawing tool selected. I'm creating a line feature, and I have in the editor toolbar, I'm picking this initial one. And I just start clicking. Just clicking the mouse as you move along, and this is digitizing. Now what if I make a mistake? My hand spasms and I accidentally click over here, but I want to get back over here. The Control Z will undo. So I'm hitting the Control key and then the Z key, and it takes me back a step. And I can do that multiple times, and it just takes me back as far as I need to go. And then I can just start doing it again. So I'm still in the middle of creating a feature. Now I come to the edge of my map. I don't have to stop creating the feature. All I have to do is pan the map. So go back and look at all those tools that are available to you. I'm just going to click the mouse wheel and drag, because that's my favorite way to pan. And then keep on digitizing. Notice right here there's a few junctions. If you ever get up here, this right out here is a real pretty overlook looking down over Donny Park. We're going to have a junction right here with the other road. This is 557A, but right now we're digitizing the primary road that goes out to the fire tower. All right, so I've finished my road here, and I've gotten everything in there I need. So what I do now is what we call finishing the sketch. And normally I would just hit the F2 key. I've noticed that doesn't always work in the NAU labs though. So to finish a sketch, you can also just right-click with your mouse, and there's an option to finish the sketch right down here. So we're going to hit that. All right, now it has been created. Next step is to add a road number to the attribute field. Remember, we created an attribute field for road ID values, so we just want to add that now. We've created the geometry, now we have to add the attribute. So we open up the little attributes window right up here, and it made a new pane down here, so now we have attributes here. Well, this is the road that's selected, and here is where we can type in the road ID value, and it happens to be 557. All right, hit apply, and now this road has that ID value. If we use the Explorer tool to click on it, we see it has a road ID of 557, so it's been saved in there correctly. Now this is a good opportunity to learn how to modify existing features as well. So you've created this new feature. Well, there's a whole set of tools for modifying features, and that we go back to the Edit tab. There's a Modify button that'll turn on the Modify pane, and these are all ways that you can modify it. An easy way to get to the actual individual vertices that we've created is this Edit Vertices. If we click on that, then the vertices become available. I'm going to zoom in, and I can select any of those vertices and move it. I can right-click on a vertex and delete it. And if I feel like I made a mistake, I can hit Control-Z and it'll undo that thing I just did. So it puts it back in. Maybe I'm thinking that it needs a few more vertices to really map it properly. Like this one seems like it should be a little further up. Maybe I want to add a vertex here. Put the mouse over the line somewhere, right-click. There's Add Vertex. Now I've got a new one. I can start adjusting the line to be a little prettier. And when I like what I've done, I have to finish the sketch again. F2 key would do it. I'm just going to right-click here and do Finish. It does the same thing. And now the sketch has been modified. You should periodically save your work just in case ArcGIS blows up. So I'm going to hit Save. This doesn't save the project. This just saves the edits that you've been doing in your geodatabase. So I'm going to hit Save. Now it has been saved. Now I want to create that second road. If you remember, there was another road right up here, right here, and this is the one that goes to the radio towers. So I'm going to go back to my Create Features pane, click that, select my Elden Roads template, choose the tool I want to use to create features with, and it'll just be this simple line. Okay, and this is the way I want to draw it. And I just start clicking again. Notice that my mouse snaps to the original road. This is good. That's because we set our snapping environment. And I just start drawing it out. For those of you who want to go explore up here, this is also an amazing viewpoint. You just see all the Flagstaff down below you. It's really something. All right, keep on going. And here are the radio towers right up in this corner. Okay, that's as far as I want to go, so I finished the sketch. Remember, the F2 key is the best way. You can also right-click and do Finish. Okay, we've created the geometry. Now we have to add the attribute, the road ID value. Come back to our little Attributes pane. This road is 557A. Okay. Hit apply. Save our edits. And we've got it. All right, just one last thing. We need to add your name to the metadata. So give you a little practice again with the metadata. To do this, we need to go back to catalog, go find Elden Roads, and it's still sitting here. Right-click on it, go to Edit Metadata. I'm going to close this window for now. And here in the summary purpose, you need to put this text, but of course put your name here. Save our metadata, and that should be good. Let's close the metadata editor window. Come back to catalog. Let's take a look at the metadata. We can click this little pane here, and we see that our metadata has been correctly edited. All right, so we've got that working. Now maybe you'd like to see the labels on there. Seems like a good opportunity since you just created attribute values. I'm going to clear the selection. If we want to view labels, it's you select the layer. When you select a feature class, then this labeling tab becomes available. You click on that. Here's where you pick the attribute fields you want to label by, and we're going to use this road ID that we just created. This will turn the labels on. You can also right-click on the layer, and where it says label, this will do the same thing. You can click that. But I'm just going to click this for now. All right, now the labels are a little hard to see because they're in black text, so we can start playing with it. We can make it a bigger font. We can make it in white, for example. See, 557A and 557. You could really get into this, and you could add a halo around it, maybe even a dark halo. Yeah, that really makes it stand out. All right, and now you're seeing your labels in action. Okay, and that's it. Thanks so much.